So this is the double page spread for my third concentration piece. So initially, in the first double page spread that I had done, or piece of double page spread that I had done for this piece, I claimed that this was fashion in Germany, or a picture of someone in Berlin in the late 1940s. However, when I did some more research, I found out that it was actually a vintage Christian Dior photo shoot done probably somewhere in Paris or France or somewhere or other, that it was a fashion photo shoot for that same time period, different place, so that title's obviously going to be different. So things that I want to accomplish with this piece is I want to show and give the impression of an old-fashioned photograph, and I'm going to do that by using a monochrome grayscale color scheme. And I'm going to do that also with my other piece, that is the companion to this one, Fashion in the Philippines, also during the same time period. So again, that same old time photograph mood, I suppose. So other things I want to accomplish is I want to try to not get too detailed too fast, as the medium I'm going to be using is acrylic paint, and that's something I usually have trouble with, is perhaps making the color too muddled or working too closely on a certain area of the paper. So that's going to be something I focus on with this particular piece. And surfaces, I might use gesso paper, canvas, or a gesso paper bag, and I've decided on a piece of mixed media paper. So acrylic paint on mixed media paper is what I've decided. So down here on the bottom, I have some colors, well, rather it's black and white again, so shades and tints that I'm deciding I'm going to use. So we just have some grays, some lighter grays, different shades of black. And then on this page, it's mostly techniques that I practiced for this piece. So I have a value scale towards the top, something that I hadn't done in a while that I decided I needed to practice. So I practiced that, and I obviously need to do some more practice with this transitioning, as these aren't different as they normally would be. There's not as much contrast as there would be in a normal value scale, so that's something I can definitely work on. And I've also done some practice on the brush strokes and kind of technique I want to use on the trees in the background that we see here in my sketch. And then I also practiced the shading and shadows that I would use for this jacket, that we see in the sketch. And then we have these bricks down in the corner of the sketch that I also practiced the technique for. I wanted to go for a very rustic type look, and so we have that also in the sketch, and I didn't want to do a repeated pattern because eventually these bricks fade out, so I just wanted to start out and kind of figure out exactly what I was going to do for the sketch, and the same goes for this wall. And again, I practiced just certain brush strokes techniques. I'm going to be using more of a rougher kind of brush stroke with this rather than more delicate with the trees. And then I also practiced the shading and value that I'm going to be using for these shoes. And that is pretty much it. That is pretty much the entirety of what I'm going to be doing and the techniques I'm going to be using for this piece.